I'm bringing greetings from Christian peacemaker teams and our Aboriginal justice team that has been working with the Shabbat Abadjuan and the Ardoch Algonquin First Nations since September, and the settler community that has been working in solidarity with them to stop the devastation of unceded Algonquin land. I would like to read a quote from Brother Dr. Martin Luther King, who 40 years ago on Friday was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. And he says, "We are tied together in a single garment of destiny, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, and whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. For some strange reason, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be."
K.I. Jinnamegos in Inuit. Their chief, Donnie Morris, and their council are in jail. They're in jail because they said no to a development that the community was opposed to. The rights and interests of KI were completely ignored right from day one. The rights to their traditional territory, the right of that community to say no to a development that they didn't want.
We will not any longer put up with our governments repeating the experience of colonization, and that's what this is. To allow a mining company to go into land that Indigenous people claim without their permission, not to negotiate nation to nation about development in those lands, is colonization, pure and simple.
One of the reasons why poverty exists is because we have been taken away from the resources.
This seems to be the pattern not just in Canada but around the world. As Indigenous peoples, if you're faced with, if you're faced with the issue of mineral exploration, you have two choices: get out of the way or go to jail.
Economic interest will trump the rights of Indigenous peoples every time. And that's so completely wrong. So very wrong.
There were several non-Aboriginal protesters who were also charged with contempt. Every single one of them had the charges dropped against them. So a lot of the non-Aboriginal people are saying, well, they think that this is racism, right? And in reality, I think it is racism, but there's a deeper issue in that private landowners don't really pose a threat to the mining industry. Only Aboriginal peoples pose a threat to the mining industry.
Our traditional economy has been replaced with things like social assistance when our people need an economy, not welfare.
And that's why we are here this evening, to say to the courts that they're wrong, but to remind them that they have an opportunity to fix this.
They could sit down now and negotiate with those communities to remove sensitive lands from staking and exploration. There's nothing in law that prevents them from doing it. They simply don't want to. Mineral prices are at record highs, And they act as if these minerals are going to go stale, as if they're going to expire if they're not immediately removed from the ground. And this is simply greed that's driving this. This is not in the interests of people of Ontario. The Ardoch Algonquins have often said, you know, we're standing up not just for our own land, we're standing up for everybody here. This isn't in anyone's interest. Ontario doesn't need another uranium mine at this time. What Ontario needs is more clean land and clean water.
Everything right now is just overwhelming to see all the people here, all the support, different nationalities. I can just feel the love from all the people here. My name is Anne Marie Morris and my husband is Donnie Morris. He cannot join us here today because he is in jail for making a stand for our traditional territory and doing what was required of him as a leader in our community. When this situation with Platniks started, I never thought that my husband or anyone else would actually get incarcerated. Donnie did tell me that it might end up this way, but I could not imagine because it didn't seem to be the answer. This kind of treatment that our people are experiencing is humiliating and degrading. This kind of branding on a leader that did not commit a crime is not right. What is important to our community is to preserve the relationship we have with the land and to protect it from exploration and mining. We want to continue to hunt and fish and to preserve the resources the way the Creator provided. I want to thank everyone across Canada that has shown their support for Donnie and the other KI members from both the First Nation and the non-First Nation communities. Please continue with all your good efforts to keep us in your prayers. God bless you all.